Hi, this is Nancy L.T. Hamilton, and I'm back talking about riveting. Please watch our basic riveting video prior to this one because I'm going to leave out a few of the steps so I'm not too redundant and boring the heck out of everybody. So today we're going to discuss how to set a invisible or flush set rivet, and how it's different from a regular rivet is that you match the metal, the wire that you're using and the metal that you're using, so that they're the same color, so that when you set this, you set it down into it, it's sanded flush, and at the end, theoretically, you can't see where the rivet is. Sometimes people don't want to see the rivet, sometimes they're used as decorative elements, but you'll find instances in your career where you do not want to know that there's a rivet there. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, I've already marked and drilled my hole. Like I said earlier, please see my other video. I have my 14 gauge wire, and I need to, in the other video I talked about leaving about 1 millimeter on each side. Well, with a flush rivet, we're going to just leave a little more, maybe 1.5 millimeters or something, because you want a little extra metal because you're going to fill in a hole. So we're going to do that in a second. So see, this is a little longer on both sides. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? And the next step that we're going to do is we're going to drill the hole into the metal with a setting burr. So these are setting burrs. They're conical shaped. They mimic the shape of a round faceted stone, and they make great, nice, smooth holes for riveting. So I'm going to try to kind of match. I want it bigger than my wire. This might actually. Whoops. Probably didn't like it anyway. I'm going to go a little bigger than that. Maybe that one. See, it's just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to put it in my handy dandy flex shaft over here. And there's my hole. There's my hole. Go away, Igor. Now I'm not going to drill way down, especially on this metal. It's rather thin. And I doubt you're going to be able to see this. It's a just a slight concavity in there. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the other side. So if we're going to be invisible, we might as well go all the way. And there we go. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the hammering station and we're going to hammer it in. Okay, so this is picture, this lovely drawing I've done for you, is basically what we're going to try to do here. See, this is the shape that we drilled in with the setting burr, and ultimately this rivet here is going to end up filling up that void, and you have a nice flush surface after we're done sanding. Okay, so now I'm going to actually do it. Once again, I try to keep the rivet in the piece because they're a pain to put back in again, and I want to try to keep this level. I'm going to hammer across. As this is a little longer, it may have more tendency to bend, but it's not going to for me because it's going to be perfect. It likes to show off. Okay, so I do a couple times. If you want to get scientific, you can count so that you do the exact same amount on both sides, but I don't do anything that way because remember, I slept through geometry and probably every other class related to science and math. Although I did like archaeology in college. I have a little bit too much on this side, but not a big deal. The important thing is to try to make sure you get the metal into the hole you drilled. Otherwise, invisibility is out of the question. This side is probably perfect. A little deep. I'm flattening the metal around the edge. It has a little dimple from the nail set that I used to make my drilling hole. Alright, so now I'm going to give them a final whack down, and at this point you can still see it, but I'm going to go and sand this down and it will become invisible. Okay? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is sand this whole area down, trying to make this invisible. And I'm using a rather gritty sanding disc for this. If you were using sandpaper, I would try, you probably could start with 320. If that's not doing it, you can even switch to files or a 220, a wet dry sandpaper. So let's save yourself some trouble and get yourself some of these. So eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand this down. I'm going to switch to a regular coarse grit, then a medium grit, and then a fine, depending on the polish you want. You know, you can go all the way down to a high polish with rouge. So right now, though, we're just going to go with this. So to save you the annoying watching me sand routine, here I'm going to show you the 3/4 finished, which still needs some more work done on it, and flip it over, and voila, there is where our rivet used to be. So it proves to you that you can do an invisible rivet. All you got to do is match metals, recess it, sand it, and you're done. So thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today. I know I did. Come back again and watch our next video on riveting, and that's going to be tube riveting. It's going to be very exciting.